Hello everyone, and welcome to Power Apps Portals Tips. My name is Nicholas Hayduk, and this is tip number 146, Configuring Out-of-the-Box Azure AD. When you install a Power Apps portal, out of the box two modes of authentication are available, local authentication and Azure AD. While it isn't recommended anymore to use local authentication, there are a bunch of site settings specific to it, so it's pretty obvious how to configure it. For Azure AD, it's not as obvious, especially since there are no options to configure for Azure Active Directory in the new authentication settings area in make.powerapps.com. The Azure AD authentication option allows users to log in with Azure AD credentials associated with the same tenant that the Power Apps portals is installed in. It is commonly used for the employee self-service template because employees of the organization often already have Azure AD accounts configured. We also use it a lot for demos, or at the start of the project, because it's a quick way to get authenticated into the portal. But what if you want to change some of the behavior of the authentication? There are some out-of-the-box site settings that let you do some things. For example, you can remove the option to log in with Azure AD using the authentication/registration/Azure AD login enabled site setting. But there are no obvious settings for configuring something like contact mapping with email. The trick is to know that Azure AD is enabled in a Power Apps portal using OpenID Connect. Settings for OpenID Connect providers follow a format that is authentication/OpenID Connect / followed by the name of the provider, another / and then the specific setting name. For example, to allow users who log into a portal for the first time to be automatically mapped to the correct contact based on their email address, you need a setting of authentication /OpenID Connect / provider name / allow contact mapping with email. For Azure AD, simply use Azure AD, no space, as the provider name. Now you can control any of the settings related to the out-of-the-box Azure AD identity provider. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found the Power Apps Portals tip number 146 on configuring out-of-the-box Azure AD useful.